so in this next video, we're going to transfer our horizon line and then place our vanishing points and our house in the on the lines. So you see that up here, I have my reference image with all of the lines drawn over top of it. And then down here, what you'll see is that I have a blank page, okay? And then I added these flaps to the back of the page. So if I flip this over, you'll see it's actually just two pieces of paper just adhered to the back with tape. And that's just gonna help me to put my vanishing points a little bit off of the page. So that way I can draw the house a little bit bigger. Okay, so when we look at this image, something that you'll notice is the horizon line is about like a little bit higher than half of the like cube part of our house. And so I pulled out a longer ruler so that way I could draw a horizon line kind of off the page. And so I want to leave enough room for like the roof and this little added part on top of it. And then I don't want to move the line too far down because I want to have room for this bottom area as well. So I'm going to draw it like about here. Okay, and now I'm switching to my pencil. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a line straight across. This is my horizon line. Okay, now that I have that drawn, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my left vanishing point over here, my right vanishing point over here. Okay, looking between the two vanishing points, okay, I want to see about where that corner that's closest to the camera falls. And it's a little bit, it's pretty much between them, but maybe a little bit closer to the right vanishing point. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place that in. Okay. Remembering that the horizon line, you can switch to a shorter, more manageable ruler here. The horizon line is it's a little bit higher on the building. Okay, so I'm going to go about here. Draw a vertical line for that closest corner of the building. Okay. All right, and then now that I have that drawn, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to, actually that might be a little bit too long. I'm going to shorten that a bit. Both the top and the bottom. Because I want to make sure that this makes sense for this. And I can measure it if I wanted to. I can measure this and kind of count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, about like 4. So I want to be like, oh, yeah, that's too big. I'm going to have to make it a little bit smaller. That or I could move my vanishing points out a little bit more. It's not going to quite fill up my page, but at least it's enlarged, and that's what I want you to do. I want it to be a larger version of this. I do not want you to draw something that is this big. That is too tiny. Okay, now I'm going to connect both the top and the bottom to the left vanishing point. And then I'm going to do the same to the right vanishing point. Okay. Then the next thing that I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw the right side of the building, and or sorry, the left side of the building, and then the right side of the building. So I'll just move this up a bit so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, that's going to fall right about there. Okay, and so these lines are going to be vertical. And they're just attaching that orthogonal to the other orthogonal. This one is also going to be vertical. So the left back of the building, the front corner of the building, and the right back of the building should all be parallel with each other. Okay? All right. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the roof. So to draw the roof, I'm going to place an X on this side of the house, okay? And I'm doing that to be able to find where the center of this is, even though it's in perspective, which will make things a little bit easier. And so now that I have an X, I'm going to go ahead and I'm make a vertical line up this way. And then I want to look at about how tall I want the roof to be. So I'm looking at my resource image again, okay, and I'm looking at about how tall the roof is. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to draw a vertical line up to about where the peak of the roof will be. Okay. And then the triangular part of the roof, okay, here, does not recede back to any vanishing points. So what I'm simply going to do is take my top point on my sketch down here and connect it to the building. Now, it is a little bit trickier than that just because I need to account for the overhang on the roof. So when I do that, I'm going to line the peak up with the right side of the building, and then I'm going to just go over a tiny bit. Okay. Something similar over here as well. Okay. Now, this part that comes in on the roof actually lines up to this vanishing point over here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to draw that, keeping my ruler lined up with my vanishing point over here, and then lining this up with where I have that overhang, and I'm just going to bring that back. Okay, and then same thing with this one. Okay, now the top of this part of the roof is going to go to the vanishing point. Okay. So I'm going to line up that part with the vanishing point over here. And then this edge here is going to be parallel to this edge. So sometimes I tend to like to just take my ruler and kind of just slide it over like so until I get it like lined up. You can also kind of put something a little bit more solid here, so that way you can kind of compare and make sure that they are parallel as well. Okay, and then this is going to come over as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a little bit, I'm going to clean this line up. Sometimes you have to adjust things. I'm noticing that this feels a lot longer than it does here, so I might need to move this in and then kind of move that in. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that now. I know I just finished drawing that roof, but that's okay. I'm just going to erase it. Okay. And then I'm just going to move it over just a smidge. Again, put this here, slide it over. Okay, that's your vanishing point. Okay, and so now we have the basic form of the house. Now I do need to move, because I drew the roof with the overhang, I do need to move this line down so it matches up with those corners. Okay. So this is going to be, I'm going to erase this one and move that down so it has the appropriate overhang for the roof.